Your Honor, the services included bringing a adjustable bed into her home and putting that together, and then putting the mattress on top. And there was actually more included parts that were not given to me or shown to me in the initial.
Well, initially, how did she hire you? How did you learn about the job?
She had a friend who recommended me, and she sent me a text, and she told me about the job through text, and I agreed.
And what were the texts? Do you have the text with you?
I do, yeah.
Let me see what she texted. And did she send you pictures at all to show you what the job entailed?
Yeah, she sent me one picture.
Okay. It is both moving the queen-size frame mattress into my apartment, then assembling it, and it may be a two-person job. $175 an hour with a 1-hour minimum. Did you bring two people?
I ended up calling a friend, my friend Doug, who helps me out from time to time. He lives in the area. I did not understand that I would need help necessarily because of the picture. As you can see there, it looks like a twin-sized bed frame.
She had said that it was a queen, right?
Yeah. So I guess I kind of...
Does look like a twin in the thing, but she had said it was queen-size frame and mattress. So I'm not understanding. You brought someone with you?
I ended up calling someone.
You ended up calling me. So you showed up alone, and then what did you see?
I saw the box there, and it just turned out to be way too heavy.
So then that's when you called your friend?
Yes. I also did not know there was a staircase. So
she never mentioned the staircase?
No.
Did you ever mention the staircase?
I did not, but I did say it was on top, that I have to move it up my apartment.
Wait, where did you say that? It says into your apartment. Where did you indicate that there was a staircase? Because that makes a difference. I'm surprised you didn't ask. Why didn't you ask? Like, that's the first thing you should ask in your business, right?
Yeah,
but why didn't you tell him that there was a staircase and that he had to bring it all the way up the stairs?
That's why I was making sure he needed an extra person, an extra hand.
What was your plan? Because, I mean, were you going to be like a Harlem Globetrotter spinning a queen-size bed on your finger? Like, you know, this sounded like a two-person job, just like the lady said it was going to be. But in any event, you bring the guy, and the guy helps, and you have to pay the guy, right?
I do, yeah.
And what did you pay him?
$100.
How long does it take you to assemble?
I'd say an hour and a half.
So you don't mention that there's a staircase. He comes alone. Do you say something to him when you see him that he's alone?
Yes, I told him we will need another hand, and that's when he called his friend.
So the friend gets there, and then what? They take it?
They both take the boxes upstairs, and that was it.
All right, so then he assembles it, and you ended up paying him for 2 hours. Why?
Yes, because that's what
it took him almost 2 hours to assemble it. So let's assume he had shown up with his friend. It takes time to get it up the stairs.
Yes, but at the same time, it was only the second floor. It was only 8 stairs.
Well, yes, I didn't expect it to be 10 stories and you not mention it. But
yeah,
what I'm asking you is...
I didn't... He said, because I took his word. He was professional. He said he would do it in 2 hours. So 2 hours for me worked.
You're the one who mentioned it would take about 2 hours. He didn't mention it would take 2 hours. I'm looking at the text, and he says, I charge $175 an hour with a 1-hour minimum. And you say, okay, great, it should be about 2 hours. Does that sound good? I guess he says yes.
Because I could only do 2 hours.
Meaning afford 2 hours?
No, I had 2 other appointments to make that afternoon.
What kind of appointments?
I had a nail salon and a hair style.
Did you miss them?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So, why, when she says it should be about 2 hours, have you ever put together a mechanical bed?
Yes.
Yeah. So that, you say, yep, that sounds good. See you tomorrow. Did you expect for it to only take 2 hours?
Not necessarily.
Okay. How are there 4 hours if the guy took 15 minutes to get there? It couldn't have taken you guys 2 hours and 15 minutes to bring the bed up the stairs. So how is it that it's 4 hours?
The reason it was 4 hours is...
Because you say it took you an hour and a half upstairs, right?
Yeah, an hour and a half for the initial build of the bed frame. And then she informs me she has this headboard and footboard and rails that she did not mention in the text message. She wanted to put those up. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that entirely.
Yeah.
Another case of miscommunication. I believe both of them are at fault. she did not share the whole picture with him. I don't even know why she decided not to mention that he had to bring the bed frame up to the second floor, and that there are also headboards and sideboards and footboards involved in the assembling of the bed. I honestly don't know why she decided not to share this information, although it is crucial to the workflow. And possibly he would have invited a second person had he known that that's what's involved. On the other hand, him being a handyman and being a professional, there are questions he had to ask prior to agreeing to the job, and that being the size of the bed, to make sure he's asking, is there anything else you want me to assemble? Is it just the frame, or is there a sideboards? Is there a footboard and a headboard involved? And since it's an apartment, do you live on the second or third floor? It's something that he could have asked her to get a more precise and more detailed information of what about to happen. And had he known that information, he would have invited the second person for a fact and possibly make him stay for longer so they could have assembled the bed on time. Back into the courtroom.
How long did it take you to get the bed and all the materials upstairs?
The bed and all the materials upstairs, 45 minutes, probably
and
since
so
getting there.
The rest of that 4 hours was assembling everything?
It was assembling the platform, assembling these new pieces I didn't know about, and also moving the bed.
Did you tell her at any point in time, you know, when it was hitting the 2 hour mark, lady, this is a lot more work than you mentioned?
I didn't consider that text message a binding contract. I figured that she being there in the house would kind of check the clock and kind of realize what she's paying. And, you know, it takes longer to do that.
Did he dawdle at all? Like, was he sitting around taking, smoking a cigarette and drinking coffee? Or was he working that whole time?
He was working. I did offer water because I always do that.
Right, but I'm just saying, in other words, when he tells me he worked for 4 hours, he actually worked for 4 hours, right?
Well, yes, of course. We had to move the bed twice around. And so
why
we had
twice
to
around?
Because when we assembled it, it didn't fit quite in the space where my old queen mattress was.
Why won't you pay the guy for the work he did? In other words, you had the money for 2 hours.
Yes.
You feel like he said, okay, but he did. He said, okay, 10 a.m. sounds good. And he told you he charged $175 an hour.
Yes.
And then you're there 4 hours. You see when the 2 hours are up, you know how to tell time. What did you think was going to happen? You're going to get 4 hours out of him for the price of 2?
Yeah, but at the same time, I was doing his job too.
How are you doing his job?
Because for the bed frame, you got to do it all together, because if not, it's going to be unbalanced. You have to screw at the same time different corners. I didn't know everything about this. That's why.
So in other words, he was telling you, hold on there, hold on to that part while I screw this in?
Yes.
Is that what you mean by doing his job?
No, I'm telling I helped him doing his job.
Right.
So why should I pay him more when I did part of the job?
Okay. She is suggesting that had you brought a second person, that a second person was not just necessary for bringing it up the stairs, but also for building it within a reasonable amount of time. And she did say it may be a two-person job. Was it a two-person job in retrospect, now that you realize everything?
In retrospect, after it was bigger than the picture and moving it twice, yeah, I needed her hand for a couple steps.
Guys, I'm sorry, but I kind of see her point why she didn't want to pay for the full 4 hours of his work, although probably she'll end up doing it anyways, but just hear me out. She hired a professional to complete the job, and maybe she wasn't upfront with him regarding the amount of work that actually needs to be done. He found it out later, but she didn't plan on being involved. If she wanted to be involved, she would have called her friend, or maybe her uncle or her father, and they would have assembled the bed together. She hired a professional specifically not to be involved in this. She hired a professional who would take care of the bed frame while she is busy with whatever she was busy with. And partially it is on a contractor who, after realizing the amount of work and with added workload, he could have paused and say, listen, we need to discuss a few things. First of all, it's way more work than I anticipated, and that's based on your text right here on the phone. And this requires a second person. So either we can arrange between the two of us and you can help me, or I can call another person and maybe come back another day to finish up the project. So there was communication that was lacking in this particular case, and that's what cost them money. Let's go back.
Okay, well, did you need her I'm so confused. You really thought you were going there just to build this, just to do the center part and not to put the headboard together and everything. So do you say to her, you know, this isn't the picture you showed me. You didn't show me a headboard. Do you say that to her?
I could have, but
did you?
No, I don't think it's my responsibility. I mean, I'm not
asking if it's your responsibility. I'm just asking if you did.
Okay, I did not.
Okay, and when you send a picture to him, this is all you send him. Did you mention you wanted him to build your headboard and all the other stuff?
No.
Because then he might have brought the second person and kept the second person who could stick around if you had mentioned that.
Yes,
but you don't mention that.
No, I did not, because I thought I never built a...
No. You know this isn't all you wanted him to do. You know that there's an enormous headboard and sideboards and there's a whole thing to build. That's all. There's stuff under that needs to be built. You knew that you needed that. Why'd you send him only a picture of this? And you don't say it's a two-person job. You say it may be a two-person job. What do you charge? You know, like it's, you know, if you tell him the exact parameters of the job, maybe he would have brought a second person and kept the second person. But if you choose to try to negotiate that it be 2 hours by text before a person gets there, even though you know that he has an hourly rate, and then he's there for another 2 hours, how do you figure you're not going to pay him?
Again, I never thought it was going to be so complicated. That's why my friend recommended.
But at the 2 hour mark, you realized 2 more hours passed, right? Did you ever say anything to him at that point?
Yes, that's why I started helping him, because I needed to go.
No, did you say, I only have money to pay you for 2 hours?
No, I did not say that.
No, you let him continue working for 4 hours when you know he's charging $175 per hour, right?
Yes, when we agreed 2 hours.
You keep saying that, and you have to understand that this is what it says. It may be a two-person job. It's moving a queen-size frame mattress into my apartment, then assembling it. You send a picture of just the frame. You don't mention that there's a headboard and sideboards and everything else that has to get built. He says it's $175 an hour with a 1 hour minimum, and you proclaim, okay, great, it should be about 2 hours. Does that sound good? He says, yeah, see you tomorrow at 10. Why does that mean that if it's not 2 hours, he doesn't get paid? How do you figure when what you sent him wasn't an accurate picture of what it was that the work was? I'm ordering you to pay the man the remaining $350.
The man works hard. He works for his money. He's been in your apartment for 4 hours instead of the 2 that you anticipated. And newsflash, everything takes longer than you think initially. So for her to plan her day with nail appointments and hair appointment was a bit presumptuous, because you have to anticipate for things not go exactly the way you plan, and maybe try and move your appointments to a different day. What did you guys think about this particular case? Do you think the man was owed that money? Or do you believe since she was helping him, maybe he's not entitled to the full amount and maybe should have given her a discount? Please put it in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.